I rise to speak on the discussion and voting on demands for grants for the year 2025-26 and introduction, consideration and passing return of the related appropriation bill and the resolution speaking approval of extension of President's rule imposed through proclamation issued by President on 13th February 2025 under Article 356(1) of the Constitution of India in relation to the state of Manipur with deep pain and anguish. Madam, my heart is very heavy and I speak not only as a member of Parliament but as a human being watching the continued suffering of our brothers and sisters in Manipur. What was happened there and what is still happening is not just a law and order problem, it is a complete collapse of governance. And that collapse lies squarely on the inefficiency of the BJP-led government, both at the center and in the state. Manipur, literally meaning jeweled land, has been reduced to ashes. The state, once known for its green hills and harmony, now bleeds red. The sounds of nature have been replaced with the cries of mothers who watch their children killed, with the screams of women stripped of their dignity, and with the silence of a Prime Minister who chose not to speak when the people needed him most. Let us call this what it truly is, a man-made disaster caused by the inefficiency, apathy and failure of this government. Madam, the violence in Manipur began 2023. Instead of facing swiftly to de-escalate, the government allowed the situation to spiral into uncontrolled violence, bloodshed and chaos. Madam, where was the central government when the state was burning? Where was the Union Home Ministry, which is constitutionally responsible for maintaining law and order in such situations? What we saw was not just a slow response, it was no response. In fact, the inaction of the government enabled the violence. It gave room for mobs to attack, for homes to be burned, and for over 60,000 people to be displaced. Over 200 lives lost and nearly 500 churches demolished, and yet this government waited months to even speak a word. The silence is not accidental, it is deliberate. It is a reflection of the BJP's lack of political will and absence of administrative efficiency, especially when it comes to northeastern part of India. Madam, this is the same government that never fails to chant Bharat Mata Ki Jai in this parliament. But what about the Bharat Mata's daughters in Manipur, who were stripped, paraded and assaulted by mobs? A former soldier whose wife was among the victims said with deep pain, "I served the country, but I couldn't protect my wife." What kind of country we are building where our soldiers feel helpless and our women are not safe? The Prime Minister, who often speaks for hours on less important matters, took months to say just a few words after shocking video from Manipur came out. And even then, all he said was it was shameful. When the union government controls the paramilitary forces, controls the intelligence machinery, and has the power to intervene in serious internal conflict, why did they do nothing? This wasn't just a delay, it was a complete failure to do their duty. It showed a serious lack of leadership. Madam, the Manipur government, instead of protecting its people, has worsened the situation through internet shutdowns, curfews, and brutal police actions. On June 12, 2023, the Rapid Action Force vandalized private vehicles. This act was caught on CCTV. Later, 3 RAF personnel were caught trying to burn down a store. Is this the government's definition of peacemaking? People have been cut off from the world with internet shutdowns lasting over 2 months. In a democracy, this is unacceptable. It hides what is really going on, stops victims from speaking out, and clearly shows that the government cares more about controlling the story than actually solving the problem. Let me remind the House, even the United Nations raised the alarm in September 2023. UN experts cited serious human rights violations, extrajudicial killings, sexual violence, forced displacement, and torture, and slammed the inadequate humanitarian response of the Indian government. Even when the international community sees and reacts, why does the Indian government turn away? The pattern of inaction is not limited in Manipur. Just recently, 2 nuns from Kerala were arrested in Chhattisgarh and on baseless charges of forced conversion. They were harassed at railway station and the state government remained mute. Again, it is the minorities and marginalized who suffer, and again, the BJP-led governments either took away or support the actions of right-wing groups. And now, let me bring the attention of the House deeply ignored truth. In our country, most educational institutions are run by the Christian community. It is through these schools that most of the people there learn their first alphabet. The Christian community has always upheld values of love, service, and brotherhood. And yet today, they are being haunted, humiliated, and accused, while the current government offers protection to their attackers. Let me ask those sitting on the House, can any one of you honestly say that the schools you studied in forced you to convert your faith? In Kerala, our education success is rooted in a simple concept, Palliyodopam Pallikudam. That is a school beside every church. This is how every village has given access to education beyond race, caste, and belief. It was vision, not violence, that updated our state. When the government turns a blind eye on this truth, it cannot hide behind slogans. It becomes an act of betrayal of the Constitution, of justice, of humanity. And that betrayal is what the people of Manipur and many others across this country are enduring right now. Thank you.